The vast emptiness of space lit up with thousands of celebratory lights as the Galactic Council fleet broke into early victory formations. Their massive ships, elegant curved vessels that resembled giant metal wings, positioned themselves in the traditional victory pattern above Earth's orbit. The celebration had begun too soon. Admiral Trell stood on the command deck of the Eternal Dawn, the Council's flagship that dwarfed everything else in their armada. His six-fingered hands clasped behind his back as he gazed at the viewscreen showing Earth's battered orbital defenses. The primitive space stations and outdated weapon platforms lay in ruins, scattered like broken toys around the blue planet. "Send the formal surrender terms to their planetary leadership," Trell ordered, his voice carrying the calm confidence of someone who had won many such conflicts before. "Standard Level 3 integration protocols. They may keep their cultural identity, but their military capabilities will be dismantled." Commander Lox, his second-in-command, bowed slightly. The humans fought well for their technological level. "Admiral." Indeed, they might prove useful additions to the Council, once properly guided. Trell's thin lips formed what passed for a smile among his species. "Their resourcefulness is admirable, if ultimately futile." Across the fleet, alien crews celebrated in their own ways. Some engaged in ritual dances, others consumed special victory meals prepared for this moment, and many simply rested after the short but intense battle. The Council's victory had been efficient, the result of overwhelming technological superiority, rather than any tactical brilliance. The humans had simply been outmatched. Or so they thought. On the lower deck of the Eternal Dawn, Junior Sensor Officer Mick hunched over his console with growing concern. His antennae twitched nervously as he reviewed the anomalous readings coming from the outer solar system. "Sir," he called to his supervisor, "I'm detecting unusual energy signatures near the gas giant they call Jupiter." The supervisor glanced at the readings with casual interest. "Probably just magnetic interference. This system has unusually active gas giants." "With respect, sir, these readings are artificial in nature. They're pulsing in patterns." The supervisor frowned and looked more carefully at the data. His eyes widened. "Alert the Admiral. Now." But the warning came too late. On the command deck, the celebration was interrupted by the sudden blaring of proximity alarms. The massive viewscreen shifted to show the space behind Jupiter, where something impossible was happening. Emerging from behind the gas giant came a ship of such immense size that several officers gasped audibly. It was angular, brutal in its design, with none of the elegant curves of Council vessels. Instead, it appeared as a massive metal fortress, bristling with weapon emplacements and propulsion systems, unlike anything in the Council's database. Then another appeared, and another. "What are those?" Commander Lox whispered, his professional composure cracking. Admiral Trell stood frozen, his victory forgotten as he stared at the approaching behemoths. "Those, Commander, are warships. Real warships." The lead human vessel dwarfed even the Eternal Dawn. Its hull bore the simple designation, Retribution *. Incoming transmission from the human vessel, called the communications officer, her voice shaking. The view screen changed to show a human in a dark uniform, standing calmly on what appeared to be a command center far more advanced than anything the Council had attributed to human capability. "This is Commander Thomas Wells of the Earth Defense Force Dreadnought Retribution *, the human said simply. "Your assessment of our military capability was incomplete. Your celebration is premature. Stand down your weapons and prepare to receive our terms." Admiral Trell felt the deck shift beneath him as 5 more massive human warships emerged from concealment points throughout the solar system, their engines burning bright as they moved with surprising speed and precision to surround the Council fleet. The victory celebration died instantly. The hunters had become the hunted. Commander Thomas Wells stood firmly on the command bridge of the Retribution *, humanity's lead dreadnought. The massive ship had been hidden for years in a hollowed-out asteroid base near Jupiter, along with 5 sister vessels that now moved into attack formation around the surprised Galactic Council fleet. All weapons systems online, reported Weapons Officer Lisa Reed, her fingers dancing across the holographic controls. Target locks confirmed on all major Council vessels. Thomas nodded, his face calm despite the enormity of the moment. After years of secrecy and waiting, humanity's true defense force was finally revealing itself. The Asterisk Retribution Asterisk alone was nearly twice the size of the Council flagship, its dark metal hull designed not for beauty but for war. Communications open to all Council ships, stated Communications Officer Ben Rogers. "They're listening, sir." Thomas stepped forward, his voice clear and strong. "This is Commander Wells of Earth Defense. Your attack on our orbital platforms was expected. Those were decoys. Admiral Trell. Our real fleet has been waiting for this moment." On the main screen, Admiral Trell's alien face showed a mixture of shock and growing anger. "Impossible. Our intelligence reported your species had only achieved basic space travel capabilities. Your intelligence was exactly what we wanted you to see," Thomas replied with a small smile. "A lesson about humans you should learn quickly. We're very good at keeping secrets." While the exchange continued, the massive human dreadnoughts moved with surprising grace for vessels of their size. Each ship had been built in absolute secrecy, constructed in hidden facilities throughout the solar system. The Asterisk Retribution Asterisk had been assembled in the Jupiter shipyards, the Asterisk Vengeance Asterisk in the rings of Saturn, the Asterisk Defiance Asterisk deep within Mars' largest canyon, and others in equally concealed locations. In the engine room of the Asterisk Retribution Asterisk, Chief Engineer Maya Patil monitored the powerful fusion drives that gave the Dreadnought its impressive speed and maneuverability. These weren't the crude chemical rockets the Council believed humans relied on, but advanced propulsion systems developed in secret over decades. Engines performing at optimal levels, she reported through the internal communication system. "We can maintain this position indefinitely." Back on the bridge, Tactical Officer James Foster analyzed the Council fleet with growing confidence. "Their weapon systems are powering down, Commander. They recognize they're outmatched." Thomas nodded. "Good. We didn't build these ships to destroy them. We built them to change the conversation." The human dreadnoughts had been humanity's best-kept secret. While showing the galaxy a face of struggling development and basic technology, Earth's nations had pooled their resources, putting aside old rivalries to prepare for this very moment. They had known for years that the Galactic Council would eventually come to Earth, and they had planned accordingly. "Sir," said Sensor Officer David Chen, "I'm detecting communication attempts between the Council fleet and their homeworlds." "Allow it," Thomas ordered. "Let them report what they're seeing. The Council needs to understand the new reality." The truth was simple but stunning. Humanity had reverse-engineered alien technology from crashed scout ships decades earlier, then deliberately hidden their progress. What the Council saw as primitive orbital defenses had been a calculated misdirection, designed to draw them into a trap of overconfidence. On the Council flagship, Admiral Trell was coming to terms with this new reality. His much-celebrated victory had turned to potential disaster in minutes. His fleet now found itself surrounded by warships of superior size and unknown capabilities. "We have visual confirmation of 19 more human vessels emerging from concealment positions throughout this system," his sensor officer reported with a trembling voice. Trell sank into his command chair, all thoughts of victory celebrations forgotten. The humans hadn't just built ships in secret, they had created an entire hidden fleet that made the Council's forces look small by comparison. "Open a direct channel to the human commander," Trell ordered. "It seems we need to reconsider our approach." The trap had closed. The hunter had become the hunted, and Earth's dreadnoughts, silent guardians built in darkness and secrecy, had finally stepped into the light. Chaos erupted across the Galactic Council fleet as officers scrambled to respond to the sudden appearance of humanity's dreadnoughts. Alarms blared on every ship, and emergency protocols activated as crew members rushed to battle stations they never expected to need. On the Council flagship Eternal Dawn Admiral Trell paced the command deck, his long fingers twitching with nervous energy. "How did we miss this?" he demanded of his intelligence officer. "An entire fleet of warships this size cannot simply appear from nowhere." The intelligence officer, a thin being with pale blue skin, looked down at his data tablet. "Sir, it appears they concealed these vessels in various locations throughout their solar system. Some were hidden within gas-giant atmospheres, others in deep asteroid field bases, and several in underground facilities on their moons." "Sensor profile on the lead human vessel," reported the science officer. "The ship they call Retribution has energy outputs that exceed our flagship by 320%. Hull composition unknown. Our scans cannot penetrate their outer armor." Trell stopped pacing and stared at the massive human warship displayed on the main view screen. Its design was unlike anything in the Council database. Where Council ships featured elegant curves and aesthetic harmony, the human vessel was angular, functional, and intimidating. Weapon emplacements dotted its hull like angry eyes, all currently aimed at various Council ships. They could have opened fire immediately, Trell realized aloud. Why didn't they? "Incoming transmission from the human vessel," announced the communications officer. Commander Thomas Wells appeared on screen again, his expression calm but firm. "Admiral Trell, my orders are to establish communication, not to destroy your fleet. However, I should inform you that your ships are now within what we call a targeting matrix. Any aggressive action will result in immediate response." As if to demonstrate this claim, small red targeting beams suddenly appeared on the hulls of several Council ships, emanating from the human dreadnoughts. The beams locked onto engine components, weapon systems, and command decks with unsettling precision. "We have studied your technology for decades," Wells continued. "We know exactly where to hit to disable rather than destroy. Please keep that in mind as we proceed." On board the human dreadnought Vengeance Captain Anna Martinez watched the Council ships carefully through her own view screen. Her vessel had taken position directly above the alien fleet, its massive shadow creating an eclipse effect for the ships below. "Targeting systems functioning at 100% efficiency," reported her weapons officer. "We have locks on 37 Council vessels simultaneously." Captain Martinez nodded. "Maintain current position. No firing unless directly ordered or if Council ships attempt hostile action." The truth that was becoming clear to the Council forces was staggering. Humans had not only built these massive warships in secret, but they had also developed targeting technologies far beyond what the Council possessed. While Council weapons required dedicated targeting for each vessel, the human ships could lock onto multiple targets simultaneously with pinpoint accuracy. Back on the Retribution Commander Wells opened a private channel to Admiral Trell. "Your attack on Earth wasn't unexpected, Admiral," Wells explained. "We've been intercepting your communications for years. We knew you considered us primitive and worthy only of conquest. That misconception worked in our favor." Admiral Trell's expression shifted from anger to reluctant respect. "You deliberately appeared weak." "We showed you what you expected to see," Wells confirmed. "Old space stations, basic weapons, outdated communication systems, all carefully crafted props designed to hide our true capabilities." As they spoke, more human ships emerged from various hiding places throughout the solar system. Smaller vessels, but still formidable, moving to support positions around the dreadnoughts. It was becoming clear that humanity had prepared not just a few secret weapons, but an entire hidden fleet. On the Council support vessel Distant Wind Science Officer Merak studied the sensor readings with growing alarm. "These aren't just warships," she whispered to her captain. "Look at these energy signatures. They're utilizing power generation technologies we've only theorized about. These humans have somehow leapfrogged centuries of development while appearing primitive. The Council fleet, which hours earlier had been celebrating an easy victory, now found itself completely surrounded by a force they hadn't known existed. The humans had not only survived their first contact with the galaxy, they had secretly prepared to change the terms of that meeting entirely. Lieutenant Jack Wilson stood at his station aboard the human Dreadnought Defiance monitoring the Council fleet's communications. Every message between the alien ships was being intercepted, decoded, and translated in real time by systems that, according to Council intelligence, humans shouldn't possess for at least another century. They're completely confused, Jack reported to Captain Robert Hill. Their commanders are arguing about how to respond. Some want to attack, others want to retreat. Captain Hill nodded, his weathered face showing no emotion. And their weapon systems. Powering up on several vessels, but they haven't locked targets yet. They're testing our response. The captain walked to the main view screen, which showed a detailed cutaway diagram of the Council flagship. Every system, every weakness, every critical component was highlighted and labeled. Send them a message. Jack pressed a button on his console, activating a specially designed transmission. In an instant, every display screen on every Council ship flickered and then showed the same image now visible on the Defiance main screen, the complete technical schematics of their own vessels. Let them know we can see through their ships as if they were made of glass, Captain Hill said quietly. Aboard the Council science vessel Stellar Wisdom Chief Researcher Nev stared in horror at his screen. The humans had somehow mapped every detail of the Council ship's internal systems, information that should have been impossible to obtain without physical inspection. How are they doing this? He asked his assistant, who looked equally stunned. The answer came from an unexpected direction. On the Council ship's communication systems, a calm female voice began speaking in perfect galactic standard. This is Dr. Emily Grant, Chief Science Officer of Earth Fleet Command. Your vessels utilize crystalline-based quantum computing cores that emit distinct radiation patterns during processing cycles. We detected these emissions decades ago from your scout ships and have since developed technology to interpret them in detail. Everything your ships compute, we can read. In the command center of Earth's lunar base, Dr. Grant actually stood before a bank of monitors showing real-time data from all human vessels engaged with the Council fleet. This hidden facility, buried deep beneath the lunar surface, had served as humanity's primary research center for alien technology since the first Council scout ship had been captured 50 years earlier. They're receiving our demonstration, a technician reported. All Council vessels are now powering down their weapons. Dr. Grant nodded. Good. Now let's show them Phase 2. Back in space, the human Dreadnoughts began a carefully choreographed maneuver. Each massive ship rotated slightly, revealing previously hidden sections of their hulls. Panels slid open, exposing technology that made even the most advanced Council engineers gasp in disbelief. The human ships weren't just weapons platforms. They were technological marvels beyond anything the Council had achieved. Gravity manipulation systems that allowed for impossible maneuvers, energy shields that could selectively filter matter by atomic structure, and weapons that could target specific ship components without destroying the entire vessel. On the Council flagship, Admiral Trell watched with growing understanding. They let us attack their decoy defenses, he said to his officers. They wanted us to think we had won. His tactical officer nodded grimly, and while we celebrated, they positioned their real fleet around us. What terrified the Council forces most wasn't just the size or number of human ships. It was the realization that humans had completely leapfrogged expected technological development. Species usually followed predictable patterns of advancement, with each new technology building logically from previous discoveries. Humans had somehow jumped ahead dozens of steps. Sir, reported a nervous communications officer on the Council flagship, I'm detecting energy patterns consistent with faster-than-light communications between the human vessels. Admiral Trell's eyes widened. FTL communication was theoretical even by Council standards, a technology they had been working toward for centuries without success. Yet here were the supposedly primitive humans, using it casually in battle. On the Retribution *, Commander Wells watched the Council's confusion with quiet satisfaction. Humanity had gambled everything on this moment. Decades of secret development, trillions in hidden resources, and a unified planetary effort unlike anything in human history. Send the signal to reveal the lunar base, he ordered. It's time they understood exactly who they're dealing with. As the Council fleet watched in stunned silence, the dark side of Earth's moon began to change. What had appeared to be natural surface features shifted and transformed as massive camouflage systems deactivated, revealing the true extent of humanity's secret preparations. Admiral Helen Stone watched the holographic display from her command center deep within the lunar base. At 62 years old, she had spent most of her career preparing for this moment. Her silver hair was pulled back in a tight bun, and her eyes, sharp despite her age, missed nothing as they tracked the positions of both human and Council vessels. "Status report," she commanded, her voice carrying the weight of someone used to being obeyed instantly. "All Dreadnoughts in position, Admiral," replied her executive officer. "Council fleet completely surrounded. Their weapons remain powered down, and they've made no attempt to break formation." Helen nodded slowly. This was the moment that would define humanity's place in the galaxy. They could destroy the Council fleet entirely. Their technological advantage made that possible. But that had never been the plan. "Open direct communication with Admiral Trell," she ordered. "Visual and audio, highest clarity." The main screen flickered to life, showing the alien admiral. His posture showed tension, but there was dignity in how he faced what must seem like certain defeat. "Admiral Trell," Helen began, "I am Admiral Helen Stone, Supreme Commander of Earth's Defense Forces. I believe it's time we had a proper conversation about humanity's place in the galactic community." Trell's large eyes blinked rapidly, a sign of confusion in his species. "You have us surrounded, Admiral Stone. Is this how humans typically begin diplomatic relations?" A small smile crossed Helen's face. "Only when the other party begins by attacking our planet. But that's behind us now." With a gesture, she brought up new displays showing detailed maps of Council territory, trade routes, and defense capabilities. Information that the Council believed was highly classified. "We've been studying the Galactic Council for decades," Helen continued. "We know about the Kreth border dispute. We know about the resource shortages in the outer colonies. And we know about the growing faction that believes the Council's approach to expansion is unsustainable." Trell's face showed shock. "How could you possibly?" "The same way we built a fleet right under your surveillance. Patience, planning, and the understanding that sometimes appearing weak is the greatest strength." Helen stood from her command chair and stepped closer to the screen. Behind her, the Lunar Command Center stretched into the distance, hundreds of officers at work monitoring the confrontation. "I'm transmitting a proposal to you now," she said. "Not terms of surrender, but terms of alliance." The document that appeared on Trell's screen wasn't what he expected. Instead of demands for reparations or territorial concessions, it outlined a comprehensive plan for humanity's integration into the Galactic Council, as equals, not as a conquered species. "You're requesting a seat on the Council?" Trell asked, disbelief evident in his voice. Helen nodded, "with full voting rights and territorial recognition. In exchange, we offer technological cooperation in several key areas where we've made advances that would benefit all Council species." She gestured again, and the screen split to show schematics for improved medical technologies, more efficient energy systems, and agricultural methods that could help address the food shortages plaguing several Council worlds. "This was your plan all along," Trell realized, his voice quieter now. "You let us think we'd won so you could reveal your true strength in a way that couldn't be ignored." "Precisely," Helen confirmed. Had we simply announced ourselves to the galaxy with claims of advanced technology, we would have been dismissed or seen as a threat to be eliminated. This way, there can be no doubt about our capabilities or our intentions. On the Council flagship, Trell's advisors had gathered around him, their expressions ranging from outrage to cautious interest as they reviewed the human proposal. "Their terms are surprisingly reasonable," noted his chief diplomat. "And these technologies they're offering, if genuine, would solve several ongoing crises within Council space." "If genuine?" Trell echoed. "Look around you. They built a fleet our sensors couldn't detect and technology we can barely comprehend. I think we can assume their offers are genuine." Back in the Lunar Command Center, Admiral Stone waited patiently. The gambit was simple but effective. Demonstrate overwhelming power, then offer partnership instead of conquest. It was a strategy straight from humanity's own history, now applied on a galactic scale. "They're reviewing our proposal," reported her communications officer. "Council subspace channels are lighting up with urgent messages to their homeworlds." Helen nodded. "Good. Let them talk. In the meantime, maintain current positions and keep weapons systems in standby mode. We've made our point. Now we give them time to accept the new reality." The Admiral's gambit had played out perfectly. Without firing a single shot, humanity had reshaped its future among the stars. The grand meeting hall of the Galactic Council's emergency session buzzed with heated arguments. Representatives from 27 spacefaring civilizations had gathered to address the unprecedented situation involving humanity. The curved walls of the massive chamber aboard the Council's mobile headquarters station, *Unity*, reflected the blue and gold colors of official Council protocol, but the atmosphere was anything but unified. High Councilor Dren, a tall being with iridescent skin that shifted colors with his emotions, currently glowed a bright orange of agitation as he addressed the assembly. "These humans deceived us for decades," he thundered, pounding his fist on the smooth white podium. "They presented themselves as a primitive species while building weapons of war. They cannot be trusted." Across the chamber, Councilor Vix, a small but respected representative from one of the oldest Council species, rose to speak. Her voice was calm but carried throughout the hall. "Perhaps we should consider why they felt the need for such deception," she suggested. "Our first contact protocols clearly state that new species should be approached peacefully. Instead, we sent a battle fleet to their homeworld." The debate had been raging for hours. News of the human dreadnoughts and their technological capabilities had spread throughout Council space, causing panic in some sectors and cautious optimism in others. Meanwhile, in Earth's solar system, the standoff continued. The human fleet maintained its position around the trapped Council vessels, neither advancing nor withdrawing. It was a demonstration of patience and power that impressed even the most skeptical Council military observers. On board the Vengeance Captain Anna Martinez received the latest update from Earth Command. "The Council meeting is still ongoing," she informed her bridge crew. "Admiral Stone says to maintain current positions for at least another 48 hours. Her second-in-command, Commander Frank Wilson, nodded. "The crew is holding up well, but some of the Council ships are showing signs of resource strain. Their life support systems weren't prepared for an extended deployment." "Send them supplies," Anna ordered without hesitation. "Food, water, atmospheric refreshers, whatever they need. Make it clear there are no strings attached." Frank raised an eyebrow. "Are you sure that's wise, Captain? They were trying to conquer Earth just days ago." Anna smiled slightly. "Admiral Stone's orders. Show them we're not just technologically superior, we're morally superior too." Back at the Council meeting, a new voice entered the debate. Councilor Trag, representative of a species known for their strategic thinking, displayed a series of projections on the main viewing screen. "I've analyzed the human proposal in detail," he stated calmly. "Their technological offerings would increase productivity across Council space by an estimated 22%. Their medical advances could extend average lifespans on at least 9 member worlds. and their defense capabilities. He paused meaningfully. Well, we've all seen those firsthand. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. They could have destroyed our fleet, said a voice from the back of the chamber. It was Admiral Trell, who had been permitted to join the emergency session via holographic projection. Instead, they're offering partnership. I believe their intentions are genuine. High Counselor Dren's skin shifted to a deep purple of concern. Even if we accept them as equals, how can we be certain they won't use their advanced technology against us in the future? An answer came from an unexpected source. The doors to the chamber slid open, and a single human figure entered, Dr. Emily Grant, the same scientist who had revealed humanity's technological capabilities to the Council fleet. Because conflict was never our goal, she stated simply, walking calmly to the center of the chamber. We built our fleet for defense, not conquest. Earth has experienced enough war in our history to know its cost. The Council representatives stared in shock at the human who had somehow gained access to their most secure meeting. "How did you get in here?" demanded Dren. Emily smiled slightly. "The same way we built our fleet without your knowledge. We understand your technology, often better than you do yourselves." She activated a small device on her wrist, and a holographic display appeared above the Council table, detailed schematics for a new type of shield technology. "This is our gesture of good faith," she explained. "The complete technical specifications for our most advanced defensive system. We're not asking you to trust us blindly. We're offering proof of our intentions." As the Council representatives studied the gift with growing amazement, Emily continued, "Humanity doesn't want war or dominance. We want a place at this table, as equals. The question isn't whether you should fear us. It's whether we can build something greater together than either of us could alone." The Grand Council chamber gleamed under ceremonial lights as representatives from all 28 spacefaring civilizations, now including humanity, gathered for the historic signing ceremony. The massive room had been decorated with symbols from each member species, and Earth's ancient olive branch stood proudly among them. Admiral Helen Stone walked slowly toward the central platform, wearing a formal white uniform created specifically for this occasion. Behind her followed Commander Thomas Wells and Dr. Emily Grant, each representing different aspects of humanity's surprising rise to galactic recognition. High Counselor Dren, his skin now a peaceful blue, extended all four of his hands in the traditional greeting of equals. 3 standard weeks ago, we thought of humans as primitives barely worth noticing, he said, his voice carrying throughout the chamber. Today we welcome them as full Council members. Perhaps no greater reminder exists that appearances can be deceiving. The gathered representatives applauded politely, though many still showed signs of wariness. Trust would take time to build, despite the dramatic events that had forced this new arrangement. Admiral Stone stepped forward to the ceremonial signing desk. "On behalf of Earth and all human colonies, I thank the Council for recognizing our rightful place among the stars. We come not to disrupt, but to contribute." As she pressed her palm to the official document, huge view screens around the chamber displayed a live feed from Earth's solar system. The human Dreadnoughts, those massive ships that had shocked the galaxy, were now escorting Council vessels not as prisoners but as honored guests. Their weapon ports were sealed shut in a gesture of peace. "The vote to accept humanity was unanimous," noted Counselor Vix with satisfaction. "But I suspect that had something to do with your impressive ships." Admiral Stone smiled slightly. "Respect often begins with strength, but lasting relationships require more. That's why we've invited Council scientific teams to visit our research facilities starting next month." In orbit around Jupiter, the human Dreadnought Defiance cruised alongside a Council science vessel. Captain Robert Hill personally guided the alien researchers through his ship, showing them systems and technologies that weeks ago had been Earth's most closely guarded secrets. "Your propulsion system efficiency exceeds our best designs by at least 40%, remarked the lead Council scientist, making notes on a datapad. "And these gravity manipulation fields, we thought such precise control was theoretically impossible." Captain Hill nodded. We developed them by necessity. Earth's resources are limited compared to some of your member worlds. We had to find ways to do more with less. Back in the council chamber, Dr. Emily Grant activated a holographic display showing the next phase of human council cooperation: joint defense initiatives, shared medical research, and cultural exchange programs. The Milky Way faces challenges bigger than any single species, she explained. Resource depletion, the expansion of the galactic void, and anomalies at the outer rim that none of us fully understand yet. Together, we stand a better chance of solving these problems than we do alone. Commander Wells, standing at attention beside Admiral Stone, watched the proceedings with quiet pride. He thought of his crew aboard the Retribution and the decades of secret preparation that had led to this moment. What had begun as a desperate plan to protect Earth had evolved into something far greater, a fundamental shift in humanity's cosmic destiny. High Counselor Dren completed the ceremony by activating the ancient council's seal on the membership document. As it glowed with confirmation, cheers erupted throughout the chamber. "Let this day be remembered," Dren announced, "as the beginning of a new galactic order. One where deception gives way to honesty, where strength serves peace, and where even the most surprising arrivals can become the most valued allies." That evening, as celebration parties began across council space and on Earth, Admiral Stone stood alone on an observation deck, watching the stars. Behind her, Dr. Grant approached quietly. "Having second thoughts?" the scientist asked. Helen shook her head, just remembering how close we came to a very different outcome. If the Council had discovered our fleet before we were ready. But they didn't, Emily reminded her. Your plan worked perfectly. Not my plan. Helen corrected. Humanity's plan. For the first time in our history, our entire species worked together toward a single goal. That may be our greatest achievement, not the ships or the technology, but the unity. As they spoke, a message arrived from Earth. The final human dreadnought had just been revealed to the Council observers. The massive Unity emerging from its hiding place within Neptune's atmosphere. With its appearance, all of humanity's secrets were finally in the open. The galaxy would never be the same again. Neither would humanity.